What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Spectrum Show. My name is Spencer Mark. This is Jackson Clyde, and this is Sean Kevin. We're back with another incredible episode for you all.
That's right, Spencer. We got a very interesting lineup of films today, spanning across sci-fi, horror. I don't really think anime should be listed there as a
Well,
genre,
I mean, anime is people consider it kind of its own
sci-fi,
thing.
horror, shonen. Oh, I'm calling it shonen. For the first time ever, our review of an animated Pixar movie.
We've got reviews of The Bride, Hoppers, UMAmazing, Pretty Derby, Beginning of a New Era, and arguably one of the biggest films of the year, and from what I understand, an early Oscar contender for next year, Project Hail Mary.
Also, before we get started, we wanted to share with you some really exciting news. We just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. Yes! Oh my God, let me tell you, it feels so good. So that being said, we're gonna just jump right into it, get ready for our first review. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
As Donnie said, welcome back, everyone. We're the cast of the Spectrum Show, and for our first discussion, we'll be talking about Disney and Pixar's recent animated blockbuster Hoppers. And it can actually be called a blockbuster because it's doing really well right now.
Well, I mean, like, Pixar films have good legs.
I know, but this one's doing better than a lot of their recent ones, so
Right,
that's neat.
So
what are your spectrum of opinions on this movie?
I really enjoyed this. This was fun.
This was a really good movie,
Like,
yeah.
as far as, like, cute animals doing funny things movies go, this is really up there.
As I mentioned in my review, this is the first movie to display
Dave Franco
as the
Weird.
as the uncomfortable goblin he is.
It's a recurring thing between me and you, right? That we both are perturbed by Dave Franco.
I don't like him.
Not like as a person.
Yeah,
It's
he's
just
like he seems like a decent guy.
It's just like as a screen presence, you
he
know?
just makes me uncomfortable.
Anyway,
Hoppers follows Mabel Tanaka, a college student in Beaverton, like a kind of nebulous small town thing with a community college and stuff.
Well, I mean, it's got like skyscrapers and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, I know. Still, it's like small city. This feels like a Boston type city, if you know what I mean.
Boston's a pretty big city.
Oh wait, no. Okay, I'm trying to. This is a Framingham city. Is it Framingham?
Look, let's just say it's a city.
It's a smallish city. It's a smallish city. Sorry for my comparison attempts. Who is trying to stop the construction of a highway that is going to devastate the natural ecosystem, though unfortunately most of the animals have already fled the area for a reason she hasn't figured out yet.
But she gets a chance to maybe right things when she finds out about a secret project that lets her put her brain into a robotic beaver body.
Beaver tar.
They call it hopping. They are hoppers.
They do in fact reference Avatar in the movie though, which I find
because
pretty
Disney
funny.
owns that now.
Yeah. And there's going to be 15 more of them.
Man, because James Cameron just has unlimited money. Anyway, so the rest of the movie is Mabel just hanging out with animals, trying to deal with that essentially.
Trying to figure.
And things get complicated very fast in some very funny ways.
I want to open up with saying I'm amazed this is the version that Disney told them to tone down the environmentalism on.
You know, like, it does sort of have the Princess Mononoke thing where, like, you know, the animals are also presented as, you know, being radically self-interested. Honestly, I'm not going to, like, you know, I'm not going to sit down here and say it does it quite as well as Princess Mononoke.
I mean, I'm okay with it here
but
because
it's still pretty good.
Everyone in this movie is goblins.
But it's still fairly good here. And honestly, the animals just being a bunch of weird little dudes in this is, as opposed to just like complete mascots, is great.
I absolutely adore that basically all, like, pond rules is just the consistent bit with this movie, and it's
like there's a like the pond rules bit is basically that, like, carnivore, like, when you gotta eat, you gonna eat, but this also applies to carnivores. So, like, you'll get, like, herbivorous animals just, like, being like, yeah, no, I'm gonna let the bear eat me, man. It's pond rules.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like
you have Bobby Moynihan Beaver talking to, like, a fish he knows by name before the fish gets eaten.
And, like, you're kind of concerned, like, is this really advisable? But you're also kind of like, well, that is kind of how it be for animals.
And the movie never really judges them for it in a way that I find, like, kind of nice, you know? Because that's just kind of how their ecosystem works.
I mean, like, that's, like, you know, we do tend to anthropomorphize animals a lot. So, like, even if, like, you know, morally you're not on board, like at least this one acknowledges that this is what animals are like.
They gotta eat. Like animals will do, like this movie doesn't shy away from the fact that animals will do gross and disgusting things, but that does not mean we deserve to like essentially
step all over them.
Yeah,
you don't have to be perfectly morally in alignment with someone to, not want them to suffer.
That actually feels kind of
That
odd.
feels
more broadly relevant.
That does feel
actually.
kind of current, actually. I just realized. Anyway.
But yeah.
This actually kind of stands in contrast to The Wild Robot, which almost entirely sidesteps the issue of carnivorous animals.
Really?
Yeah, which I like The Wild Robot, don't get me wrong, but it is kind of funny contrasting it with this.
That actually does sound really funny.
Yeah, no, like, the character animation here especially, like, with the facial expressions.
Guys, just want to let you know, Wild Robot 2 confirmed.
Oh,
Wild Robot 2 confirmed.
Cool.
Good.
How about that?
I liked that movie.
I heard that movie was quite. Doesn't it come with like a model kit you got when you were at the theater?
I still don't know where I placed that
I think it's in Robert's car.
Anyway.
Animation.
Animation.
One of the best animated sequences in this, to me, is Mabel running around in beaver form for the first time. Like, the whole escape scene is really well executed.
And then her just, like, talking to all the animals for the first time. Is like the facial expressions in this movie or something else.
I absolutely love the detail that the animals have, like the kind of more anthro cartoony eyes when you can like understand them in like the beaver mode or whatever. But when it's a human trying to talk to them, it's a regular human. They all have like these they have like the full black eyes,
Yeah, it's a very funny animation quirk. Then
and this pays off the most in the chase scene near the climax of the movie.
Like it's like second act climax, I think.
Yeah, the second act climax is wonderful in this. It's just the animals texting on the phone to try and like communicate to the politician. Run, the shark is coming.
I know Pixar isn't known. I also know that Pixar isn't known for this as much as like the main Disney studio is, but this one has like a sort of shift in antagonist that I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a twist villain. It's just a shift in antagonist that actually I
like this one.
Considering it's in keeping with Zootopia 2, which is also very good. In keeping with Zootopia 2, this one's better thought out than a lot of their previous efforts.
I do really like that it's the insect and they get into the whole complex there. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, and
like we said, Dave Franco, he's perfect for this. I'm very happy he's actually playing a villain because he is very good at it.
And John Hamm's fake out like corpo politician type guy. And weirdly enough, he reminds me of Jerry from
He sounds exactly like Chris Parnell. It is very uncomfortable.
Even though it's John Hamm.
Like it is like if I didn't know that was John Hamm, I would have just assumed this is Chris Parnell.
Yeah, no, like the guy just has Jerry energy.
He is such. Isn't he even named Jerry?
He might be.
I think his name is Jerry. Oh my god.
Thank God.
But yeah, he has some really great stuff. Like I was saying, the chase scene at the end of Act 2 is fantastic for him. Him being terrified and confused, communicating with these animals who are spamming voice emojis at him to try and communicate.
Yeah, and like this is just it's a very funny movie. Like this has some of the biggest laughs I've gotten out of a Pixar movie in a hot minute.
Our buddy Robert was laughing at it, and I don't really see him laugh at much.
I really liked Elio. I really liked Elio, but it wasn't quite as laugh out loud hilarious as this.
Yeah, this was amazing.
Like there's some stuff in here, like, if you're an adult taking your kid, like you'll be entertained by this. This isn't like totally like, like empty calories.
Like this is very like there's a lot of bits in this that I got a personal chuckle over that I think
and honestly it's going to be in theaters for a while, so
I also
take your
really
kids.
Appreciate kind of the subtle cultural connection this film has to with Mabel and her Thai heritage and how the movie explores that to a degree.
Thai? Isn't Tanaka a Japanese name?
I don't know what exactly she is.
Tanaka is it's an incredibly common Japanese name.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we'll just say Asian diaspora for now, and correct anyone in the comments. Feel free to correct me. But yeah, I really like how they
Taro Tanaka. That's like the Japanese John Smith.
I really like how they handled like the connection to her heritage in this, her relationship with her grandma. It was really well done and cute in a way that I think bolstered the.
Also, for some reason, Pixar really likes doing, like, ASD coded main characters recently.
Oh, yeah, she's super autistic. I love her.
Yeah, no, like, between this and Elio, I think they have someone working there who...
I mean, and then at least one of at least one of the Turning Red girls has to be autistic. At least one of them, possibly multiple.
Yeah. So yeah, Hoppers. This is a solid 9 out of 10 movie.
This
like,
is great.
minimum.
I recommend you go see this. Like, this is really good.
I
do.
Anything else?
That'll be all.
Yeah, no, we're moving on to our next discussion.
All right, that's the last you're gonna see of me for this episode. Well, the last you're gonna see for me until actually
UMAmusume.
this one is before UMAmusume in broadcast order. Crap. Okay. Just ignore that. I'll be back on in a bit.
Anyway, we're gonna be we got another horror movie review for you up next. So.
Stay tuned, because we'll be right back.
Oh God, that ending was garbage.
That ending was fantastic. I don't know what you're saying.
Welcome back, everyone. We're the cast of the Spectrum Show, and for our next discussion, we'll be discussing the recent monster film from Warner Brothers and director Maggie Gyllenhaal, The Bride! ! So, Spencer, what's your spectrum of opinions on this film?
It was not as good as I wanted it to be. It was
not good.
Yeah, it was just I was expecting a lot more from this thing.
Especially
because they promoted it like crazy.
Trailers count for a lot, I guess. Like even Suicide Squad's trailer was, popped off enough that like they hired the studio who cut that trailer to make a cut of the movie. I still can't believe WB did that. But this overall,
not great.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say that it's cut like that, because overall the editing is fine. Like, really the problems here are mostly like just the horrible screenplay.
Yeah, it's just the writing. There's a lot of scenes where it really feels off.
Like, and it is kind of going for an off-kilter thing.
And that's
it's a very idiosyncratic movie. It has like
word there.
Like literary aspersions. Like, it directly calls the ghost of Mary Shelley in its opening seconds.
Wait, and I just have to clarify, was that the same
yes, Jessie Buckley played both Mary Shelley and the Bride, to my knowledge.
I was about to say, that definitely sounded like her, for sure.
And, okay.
Plot.
The Bride is about Frankenstein seeking a wife, so he goes to a lady who... Like Frankenstein's monster seeking a wife, so he goes to a woman who has like the scientific expertise to bring a cadaver back to life, and they choose a corpse who was, recently killed because she was having a hysterical fit because she was possessed by the ghost of Mary Shelley. No, I'm not making any of this up.
Yep,
and this is just like the first 30 to 40 minutes of the movie. Despite having no memories, she quickly falls in love with Frank, and they start, killing a bunch of people, at first in self-defense.
Sure, but then it just starts getting crazy from there.
And, the woman who, comes to be known as the Bride, ends up starting, a revolutionary, feminist social movement.
Which I was not expecting at all.
And, that's kind of a thing, but also there's sort of a mob subplot, and there's, a detective and his,
there's a lot
assistant.
Happening.
It isn't even really that there's a lot happening. It's that, here's the thing. This is actually a fairly normal amount of plots and subplots to put in a movie. The problem is that it's ridiculously unfocused. The mob thing is given a lot of scenes to establish that this is an important thing that will have relevance. But, in terms of actual impact, the story is still squarely focused on the Bride and Frank just kind of going about doing the whole natural-born killers, Bonnie and Clyde type thing.
Yeah, but...
I've heard people compare this, comparably to Joker 2.
I could see that. Obviously better than that, slightly.
This one, at least to my knowledge, doesn't just recap another movie for most of its runtime. This this one also only has one out of nowhere dance sequence of this time ambiguous reality.
I mean, to be fair, I will say at least it was just there was not actually songs and it was just dance numbers, I think.
Yeah, and really a lot of the problem just comes down to the writing, and the character writing in particular. The bride is written in a very bizarre way where
played by recent Oscar winner Jessie Buckley,
which is going to take some of the sting out of this movie not doing too well, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Congratulations on Hamnet. That's a good movie.
A
very good movie.
Unfortunately, I missed it.
And what really gets me about it is the decision to open the film by having Mary Shelley essentially putting words in the corpse of Mary Shelley's mouth. And it's here's the thing. I'm fine for some historical revisionism when it comes to writers and their intentions and fiction. But if it's something that's explicitly I don't know, there was this old Wii game called The Conduit or Codename Steam where Abraham Lincoln is fighting alternate dimensional monsters. That is so far removed from reality that no one is taking it as serious commentary on anything to do with Abraham Lincoln.
I know Codename
but
Steam.
here, it almost feels like the film is giving a tract to you, about what this author's intentions are or might have been, and that feels a bit gauche to me.
Sure. And you were saying this earlier, but in terms of performances, I think we can agree that Christian Bale was trying his hardest.
He's trying his hardest. He's under a bunch of makeup and prosthetics.
Yeah, and honestly, I think everyone did, considering the writing, I think everyone did fine with what they were given.
They were given fine with what they were given, but what they're given isn't much. Buckley's character is given the bizarre quirk of her base personality is fairly reserved and inconspicuous, but every now and again she just bursts into rambles of
Mary Shelley.
Of Mary Shelley possessing her that are just half nonsense, half related to the thing at the scene going on at the time, and it's incredibly bizarre because it actively prevents you from getting a fix on what she's like. When Shelley possesses her seems to be fairly arbitrary, and in terms of character motive, they don't really have a lot of strong forward momentum. She doesn't start the feminist revolutionary movement of her own volition. She just says a few words about how men in this movie have abused women, and suddenly it pops up as a background element and only becomes relevant during a mid-credit scene.
There was a mid-credit scene.
The entire plot line with the cop and the mafia is supposed to dovetail with the bride's origins and how she died, but it doesn't really connect very well at all.
Yeah, I will say though. What did we think about Penelope Cruz's performance in the?
She's fine.
Yeah,
She's fine.
I felt the same way. I felt everyone except for. But Christian Bale probably was the best out of everyone
I know that there are some people out there who might think that, this movie was too focused on being too smart and heady and academic and feminist or whatever. And here's the thing. You can make the politics of this movie are really not something I have an issue with at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is the craft is still off.
Yes,
the actual on the screen craft of the film is just off. Even then, the character journey of their whole Bonnie and Clyde thing, dovetailing in them both dying, but then just coming back to life at the end anyway, kind of makes you wonder, well, what was even the point of everything that just happened?
Yeah, I will say though, despite it doing that, I did actually enjoy the ending in this. I thought it was I feel I don't know if it'd say it came out of nowhere, but it was a little still surprising nonetheless.
I wouldn't say it was surprising. I was just I guess I'm surprised that they went for something kind of that hackneyed.
Yeah, but to be fair, I don't really watch a lot of monster movies, so this was kind of.
This isn't even really a monster movie. It's a gothic type.
It's
a gothic shaded romance movie. Which fine. They can make that movie if they want. I'm perfectly okay with that. I've heard that this movie, take it with a grain of salt. I've heard this through the grapevine that this movie like was originally slated to come out when Weapons did in WB Slade.
That wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
But then they like tested the two movies. Like they did test screenings of the movies, and Weapons popped off really hard.
It did. And
So they moved, but The Bride did not. So they switched so they put Weapons in The Bride's release spot and sent The Bride back for a bunch of reshoots. And
I wouldn't be surprised.
I cannot tell you what this movie like looks like in its original form. Because it is like the structure is so disjointed and the characters so relatively thin that honestly I kind of checked out at that, and maybe that's not fair to it.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe I should have been paying more attention or whatnot, but like. There's a quote that my friend that I said like almost right after we got out of the movie that my friend subsequently plunged from me for his Letterboxd review of this, where I said something along the lines of, "This movie is screaming incredibly loud, but I can't make anything out." Which
that sums it up perfectly.
Like
right
the
there.
one thing I can make out is that it is indeed a feminist movie, but even then, like the messaging isn't off. Like, The Bride doesn't really accomplish anything. Ultimately, her goal by the end of the movie is just to revive this guy who has been lying to her the entire time. And,
it's just wild.
And like again, like the whole Mary Shelley thing, like the possession, the way she's used narratively to establish like the whole thesis statement of this movie, it's all just like incredibly bizarre. And look, I will appreciate it. Like most big budget studio movies are afraid to take swings like this, and I'm glad that people are like Maggie Gyllenhaal or whatever is willing to take a swing like this.
100%, yeah.
Like, that is laudable. That is genuinely laudable. But like the film itself really isn't.
Yeah, it's not gonna hit as hard as Sinners or Weapons ever did.
Yeah, no, it's like if you really want like a heady like horror narrative, I would recommend Weapons. That's a very good movie.
And
Amy Madigan just won an Oscar for it.
For Best Supporting Actress, and the only thing it was nominated, the movie was nominated for. I believe.
Well, good for Krager and good for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking very much forward to Krager's Resident Evil movies. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. Requiem is amazing. I've been replaying the entire series after that.
Really?
It's
I heard Requiem was really good.
Requiem is incredible. It's got incredible Steam numbers, like incredible critical reception. They're like naysayers, but Resident Evil is no stranger to that.
We might have to nominate it for Spectrum Awards.
Oh, we're nominating that for a lot of Spectrum Awards. If Nick Apostolides doesn't win Best Performance for Leon, I will riot. Anyway.
This was this really did not go.
Yeah, no, this was an unfortunate misstep, and Maggie Gyllenhaal has,
done directing before.
Yeah, no, she's done directing and writing before to good results. So I hope she just treats this as a road bump.
Yeah,
and Jessie Buckley just won the Oscar, so her career is going strong. Like Annette Bening, Christian Bale,
there's some good names in this.
People will survive this movie.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt their careers, but it's not going to advance them either.
Yeah. All right. So it looks okay. Like it looks pretty good. Like the dance sequence is kind of fun. Like I'll give it a 3, like 3 to 4.
Out of 5? Out of 5 or
out of 10.
Oh, out of 10. I'm not going to be that hard now. 4.
Okay.
All
right.
So
anything else? Are we good to move on?
I think we're going to move on. We have, at the time, we're filming this out of order, so we're going to do one more discussion right after this. But other than that, that wraps up our discussion on The Bride. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We're the cast of The Spectrum Show, and for our next review, despite Spencer's reservations, we're discussing UMAmazing, Pretty Derby, beginning of a new era.
You might be wondering what all these are about. We're about to explain that to you.
So Jackson, what's your spectrum of opinions on this one?
This was really good. This was a really good movie.
It was quite good, especially when you consider that the concept is flatly ridiculous.
It is. So, for any of our unaware viewers, UMAmazing Pretty Derby is a Japanese mobile game and anime and
mega franchise.
Various other franchise stuff. Basically, the gimmick with the game is that it is a gacha game akin to Fire Emblem Heroes or Fate Grand Order, where you roll Umas, who are horse-human hybrids, basically.
And they run in track races, basically.
Yeah, they're all based on famous real-world Japanese racehorses. For example, here we have Manhattan Cafe, Rice Shower, Jungle Pocket, and Agnes Tachyon.
And yeah, you can look all those up. They are real. And yeah, for those of you who aren't into horse racing, yes, all horse names sound like that.
Yeah, there are even funnier ones that we haven't mentioned.
We're not going to mention because some of them get pretty wild. But
I hope they had Skibbity Riz for the American
that one isn't
campaign.
even in. Okay. All that being said, the plots of the products themselves do follow like the careers of these horses very closely, and they had the gall to make something this ridiculous actually good.
Yeah.
Like the game is pretty dang fun. The anime series that they've produced have been of pretty decent production quality and of writing quality.
Especially with the recent Cinderella Grey, which has been extra on both regards.
And overall, this movie is no exception. It is produced in-house from the
Cygames Pictures.
Cygames being the game company that developed.
You may have also heard of Grand Blue
the original.
Fantasy, which they develop as well.
And I regret to say that they have completely knocked it out of the park in terms of production quality. This is a beautiful movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This follows the career of four UMAmusume. Just to be clear, horses don't actually exist in UMAmusume's world, and there's a ridiculous amount of world building to justify their presence, including like
the Japanese
changes in Japanese characters.
Yeah, the Japanese character for horse has 2 legs instead of 4.
Because in real life it has 4 to represent the horse's legs. It's fairly ridiculous, and I get the feeling that the Cygames had a horse racing fan who just really wanted to push his hobby and simultaneously make bank off of it. Unfortunately, he succeeded.
But yeah, back to the plot. This is like a career roughly in the early 2000s, right?
Roughly in the early 2000s. It follows the career of 4 UMAmusume, but really 3, because I'm sorry, but Dansu Flame is a perennial, like forever, never, always a bridesmaid, never a bride type deal.
I actually really liked Dansu Flame in this movie.
She's
generally
fun.
Her arc in this.
Yeah,
it's
but
nice.
the film mainly follows Manhattan Cafe at the periphery, and is specifically focused on the rivalry between Jungle Pocket and Agnes Tachyon. Jungle Pocket, in particular, was a Tony Bin line, very promising, undefeated racehorse who had.
She is the main character of this movie for all intents and purposes.
Who has her career, like she gets into racing because she sees like Fuji Kiseki, a very, who is also fairly famous, but is also sort of a never a bride type of deal. She's inspired by her to start running and finds great early success, even training under the same trainer as Fuji, but runs up against a rival in the form of Agnes Tachyon, who in real life was only raced 4 races, but dominated them so heavily, and with one of them being a major G1 Triple Crown race, that later complications had her deemed the Phantom Triple Crown. Horses would jockeys and horses would drop out of races just because she was in them, or he was in them. Because there is an interesting detail for telling like which horses were male horses in real life and which were female. Male horses have accessories on their right side, females on the left. But yeah, and so Jungle Pockets dedicates her life to basically trying to one-up Tachyon now, which is complicated by the fact that Tachyon herself is kind of running on borrowed time and is, struggling against her own physical limitations.
Basically, anytime Tachyon is in a race in this movie, the animation budget explodes.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful.
Like, they have some very striking, visual motifs that they keep using.
If you've seen the movie Nope, they actually get a lot of mileage out of an Umified version of the first film captured on camera.
Which was of a horse.
Yeah.
And they, forget breaking, the sound barrier. Tachyon, faster than light
Tachyon
particles.
enters the Speed Force, effectively.
Yeah, no, it's honestly difficult to put into words, but if you've seen clips from this movie, it's probably like a huge animation spike. They call that sakuga, I believe, in Japan. A huge animation spike with Agnes just like running for dear life and just like seemingly breaking reality. It is marvelous. And you know, if it were just well produced, that would be one thing, but the writing quality is also pretty up to snuff. I do think it is structured oddly. Like the first two acts are fairly straightforward sports rivalry things, but when things really kick into gear once Agnes announces that she's retiring because of physical stress, and Pocket basically loses her mind because she still hasn't beaten her. And the rest of the movie is both of them is Pocket basically dealing with her own imposter syndrome. That's contrasted with Manhattan, who is, you know, singularly focused on her own goals and, you know, never loses sight of that. And Tachyon, who, you know, who tries to play it off and be indifferent and kind of take a scientist mindset to it of, I just want to see, you know, anyone reach this potential that I've been trying to reach, but gradually realizing that she herself wants to reach it personally. And it's really quite something. And, you know, the final race where Pocket legitimately overcomes one of the all-time greats in Japanese horse racing history, TM Opera O, is really something to behold. And Dansu Flame is also there.
I actually, like I was saying, I do genuinely enjoy that Dansu Flame in this movie. If in real life, Dansu Flame's lack of career success is ultimately kind of ties into the fact that she had a relentlessly abusive trainer who basically consistently like hindered her performance because of that.
Can you send me that article? Like,
yeah, I'll send you that in a bit. But yeah, it's like a genuinely tragic situation.
Like that kind of thing isn't really represented in this movie.
It's not represented in the movie because like this is the Umas are they're treated as like the horses reincarnating in a way, essentially.
You know, the series doesn't shy away from, you know, some of like a lot of the physical stress that they go through. Like season 2 of the anime is all about one character basically trying to get one last hurrah before they have to just stop racing altogether.
I do appreciate that, like in this context, Dansu essentially gets to be happy in her own way here, even with like the tragedy of her own real world career.
Yeah, and
like I like that she's kind of real. Like no matter how many times she keeps losing, she keeps getting second, third place, whatever. She resolves that she's going to keep on running because it's ultimately the thing she gets the most enjoyment out of. Like she has a passion for it, and she doesn't need to be the winner to have that to feel that way.
Yeah, the general history is pretty accurate. Like they recount the major races of their careers. Like they take note of like specific quirks of the horses. Like, for example, Jungle Pocket tended to let out a victorious roar after particularly major races. They note that Manhattan Cafe specifically was well suited to long races, and honestly was probably actually pretty likely to beat Agnes at the final leg of the Triple Crown if that ever actually happened.
Yeah.
A bit more up in the air with Pocket, like, but then, you know, Agnes does also have the Sunday Silence lineage.
Yeah.
That being said, you know, I don't want to get into my, you know, Western understanding of Japanese horse racing too much. This is a very fun movie. Like, it looks amazing. Like, it's genuinely well written. Like, even beyond like the four main ones, you do get some stuff for Fuji Kiski in there. If you're
Fuji surprised me into how relevant she was in this. Like, I think she's actually a bit more important than Manhattan in terms of the overall story for me.
Probably.
Like, it feels like she has a very complete arc in that kind of way, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, but like
I went into this like, and my favorite horses are Manhattan and Fuji, and I got really good stuff out of both of them. And I'm very happy.
And you know, if there's a bunch of like cameos from fan favorites, except Goldship for some reason.
Goldship is not in the movie for some reason.
Like,
I was surprised about
Special
that.
Week Suzuka, Haru Rice,
Oguri, Haru and Rice in Summer Vacation
Sweet
brought
Tosho.
the biggest smile to my face. Genuinely, just seeing them so happy.
For those of you who don't know, Haru Urara is the horse that is popular because she kept losing.
Like and I'm not talking about like Dansu Flame second, third place. Like Haru
never won a single race ever.
She was
not even one.
She was which led to her getting her own like fan community because she's the shining star of losers everywhere.
That's the kind of thing this is. But yeah, if you're a fan, you're gonna really love this.
If you're even remotely interested in horse racing, or the thing I like comparing Uma to is sports shonen like Haikyuu or Blue Lock. I think if you enjoyed those, you'd enjoy this a lot.
Cinderella Grey, the TV anime, is a bit more in the vein of shonen, but yeah.
I feel like this definitely recaptures the spirit of shonen in a way, though.
This matches it, and yeah.
Like
overall,
especially the Pake and Tachyon relationship feels very shonen rival setup, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, but overall, like, final thoughts on the table. This is a pretty great, like, 8 to 9 out of 10 movie. The music is great. Like, the visuals are great. They cap it off on a dance sequence because they do that is kind of a recurring thing in the series.
Basically every.
There was someone in costume dancing to the end credits, I believe, at my showing.
Yeah, it was someone dressed as Tokai Teo.
Yeah.
Also, props to all the voice actors in this. Like, all of them gave some genuinely impressive performances.
I'm especially impressed by Sumire Uesaka as Agnes Tachyon.
Oh, and Yui Ogura as Manhattan, who I already really liked, but gives extra great stuff here. And her voice just has a very soothing quality to it that I consistently like hearing in it. There's a reason Manhattan is the one on my login screen for the game.
Yeah, no, and check out the game. It's free. They're on the tail end of an anniversary campaign, which can get you some neat free stuff. So check that out.
And you can also pick a free 5-star, free star Uma for yourself.
And who knows if it's still going to be going on by the time this comes to air, though.
No, I mean that one's just the free 5-star is just permanent.
Well, I was talking about anniversary. Yeah. Anyway, wrapping this up, it's good. See it if you can. I don't know if its theater run is wrapping up, but it's had surprisingly it's been consistently playing weirdly enough.
It's been a really good year past year or so for anime movies. This did quite well. Infinity Castle did well.
Chainsaw Man.
And the sequel to Infinity Castle is probably set to do just as well.
Chainsaw Man.
And Chainsaw Man Reise Arc did really well as well.
So yeah, if you're an anime fan, this is a good time.
Yeah, this is
all right.
That
wraps up our discussion on UMAmusume, but don't go anywhere. We've got one more review for you all, and it's a big one. Stay tuned.
Oh, Sean got these for me in Japan. I'm very happy for him.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We are the cast of the Spectrum Show, and as you can see, Donnie is back once again for very good reasons. Specifically, he's here to help me for our final review for this episode, that of course being Amazon MGM Studios' Project Hail Mary. So Donnie, what's your spectrum of opinions on this movie?
Awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, I thought this was very, very good. This is probably one of the strongest movies of the year, easily.
Yeah, and as a person who's read the book and kind of found it hard to get into the book, I thought this movie really did the book justice.
I 100% agree. I didn't even read the book, just to be clear, because I don't read a lot to begin with. But honestly, I thought Amazon knocked it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, the most difficult part of the book was the hard science. It's parts capital H hard science. So the movie did a good job of
simplifying it.
Yeah, simplifying it for an audience.
And that's saying something, because I read the book for The Martian, which is another one of Andy Weir's big hit books, and there was a lot of hard science in that. And to be fair, I think the movie had a lot more hard science as well than this. I think this was about...
They do a good job of explaining it, though.
Yeah, and even though the film is completely unrelated to this, but even though it's a PG-13, I think even kids can get into this, honestly.
I agree, too. Especially those interested in science and a cool, fun space adventure are going to get a kick out of this.
Yeah, 100%. It's basically E.T. meets The Martian, like I've been saying to a lot of
people. Pretty
Pretty
much. Should we go over the plot?
That would be great. Do you want to do the honors?
Yeah. Should we do a first half where it's non-spoilers and second half spoilers?
Yeah, just spoil it. It's fine.
Okay, why not?
I will say the film has been out for a day at the time of recording, so just beware, spoilers ahead.
Okay, so our main character, Grace, played by the GOAT, Ryan Gosling, is an astronaut who is also a science teacher who is chosen to help save the Earth from this substance called astrophage, which they discovered is eating the sun, and they have to discover why, because they discovered a planet with astrophage, the star with astrophage that isn't dimming.
Yeah.
So they want to go to the star to determine what exactly is preventing the star from dimming, so we can bring that knowledge back to Earth and prevent the sun from dimming, and thus preventing starvation in basically the apocalypse.
Yeah. And I will say, a lot of the stuff in that particular plot is somewhat unclear at times, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like if you've read the book, it would be a lot more clear. I mean, I've read the book and I don't entirely understand it because it's so complicated.
There was a lot of scenes where I was just like, wait, what is the reason for this? Or like, what's happening? We eventually got there though.
Yeah, so we won't explain like the hard science in it. We'll just explain the main plot and the characters.
Yeah, because that's the main part of this movie that people want to know about, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you're a science nerd, then in that case, I apologize.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ryan Gosling, he's definitely gonna be an Oscar contender next year for sure.
Absolutely. And Sandra Hüller's in it as well, if you remember her from films like Anatomy of a Fall, like a acclaimed German actress. I'm pretty sure she's German, right? Yeah,
I
I'm
would
pretty sure
think
she is.
so, but
yeah.
we'll correct that if we're wrong. But
yeah.
But I think she did a really good job. And what's really amazing to me, effect-wise, it was honestly like Rocky's.
Oh, yeah. Let's explain who Rocky is.
Yeah, Rocky is. He's basically, they puppeteered him basically.
Yeah, so Rocky, speaking of relationships, probably the best performance is Rocky, who isn't even human. He's an alien who's basically a spider, like your hand, like walking around.
But made of rocks, and he was puppeteered by a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's like a combination of puppets and CGI, I believe.
Which honestly was great, really well done.
Uh-huh.
And we might have to make a visual effects category this year, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool too because Rocky doesn't have a face, but was able to communicate a lot of emotion.
Yeah, because thanks to a voice communicator, which helped a lot. And eventually, spoiler alert, he does eventually understand it without it at the end of the film.
Yeah, they learn each other's language, and it's great seeing their relationship build as they learn each other's language.
And just how they work as people.
Yeah, as they try to save their respective home planets.
Yeah, and honestly, their relationship is the true heart of this movie.
Absolutely. Like there are moments where it's pretty moving.
It really is. There were some scenes where I was like, no, this is
not
happening.
Lots of thrilling moments, like edge of your seat moments.
Yeah, edge of our butt kicking seat moments.
Absolutely. We saw it in IMAX Reading. And if you can see it in the full aspect ratio, do it because it's amazing.
And what's amazing is the whole movie in IMAX is IMAX ratios. Like all the other scenes are like the 2:9 aspect ratio. Is that correct?
Let's see. I don't know the specific aspect ratio. It goes from widescreen to full IMAX ratio.
Yeah, like but it's the IMAX widescreen, I believe.
Of course, yeah.
And it's so it's a little bit bigger, but the 1:43 scenes is where it really shines, I think.
Yeah.
Like the whole screen was filled. I don't think it was as impressive in sound as it was in visuals, though, I will say. Mm-hmm. And I don't think our seat butt kickers were as strong as they were in Avatar, I don't think.
Mm. I mean, it's Avatar. Like you're literally like people are like shooting with guns, and we're literally in space where there is no sound.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there was the sound editing in this was actually there when there was no sound. I feel like it made the scenes a lot more impactful, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's scientifically accurate.
It is scientifically accurate, and I think that adds to it. I think, but I'm just saying because it's really cool, honestly, and there's some surprisingly funny moments in this. But honestly, I didn't find myself laughing out loud to this film. It wasn't because a lot of the people in the audience were, and keep in mind, it was a full house of people. It was sold out, 500 people, not a spare seat in the house. But at the same time, I don't think it was as funny as they were trying to be, I think.
I will say the book, the narrator, Grace, narrates the book, and he does try to be really, it says a lot of joke, says as many jokes as possible to hopefully get a laugh out of the reader. So
yes, but also I think in the movie, I don't think it hits as hard, I don't think.
Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, you're comparing a narration to something that's supposed to be achieve the same effect through dialogue, so it's all about translation.
Yeah, but it didn't feel as funny as it could have been, I think. I think they were trying a little too hard with it.
Fair enough.
That's my only complaint about the film, honestly. Mm-hmm. But then again, it's also just me being very nitpicky about it.
Yeah, and I do admire the film's structure, which resembled the book as well. How he starts when he wakes up and he has no idea who he is on the spaceship, and then we constantly flash back to his life on Earth as a school teacher, being recruited by the government.
I think that was smart, I think.
Yeah.
And so it really accurately portrays, represents the book, I guess. Mm-hmm. Which, again, I've not read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely it can't include every single detail, scientific detail in the book.
There was some details a few details that were left out, but not a ton where it's missing plot elements or anything like that.
I mean, you have to understand, we can't confuse a mass audience who hasn't read the book.
Yeah, and we need to talk about can we talk about the ending for a bit?
Sure, spoiler territory.
Yeah, because I will say the ending, even though it's not what I expected, I was like, I liked it a lot more than I was expecting to.
Yeah, it's pleasantly it's weird but pleasantly satisfying. Like it's like out of this world, but it warms your heart as well.
Yeah, because he basically moves to Rocky's home, basically.
Yeah, and he has a new class of alien children.
Yeah, and the thing about, I will say the one thing is they didn't say this in the movie, but the reason he's able to survive there is because he's basically using the, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the astrophage as like a healing medicine, basically.
Or like he's eating it. That's they didn't explain it in the movie, but in the book it explains that he's able to survive by eating it.
I don't think they didn't show it at all, I don't think, actually.
No, I don't know why they didn't do that, because that's basically the big reason, like Rocky suggested it in the book, and that was his big realization. I'm like, oh shoot, I can actually survive here because I can eat this.
Yeah, I think that's the only real thing that was major that they kept out, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think because everything else seemed to have been in the book and the film. I think.
Pretty much, it's pretty accurate to the book.
Yeah, which, hey, we respect accuracy around here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, real quick, there is a cameo. Like, do you know the AT&T girl?
Maybe?
From the memes and the commercials?
It's been a while.
She was the Russian woman.
Really? Wait,
yeah, who was one of the
crew?
Yeah, on the crew. Which, spoiler alert, you realize early on, but the crew dies. He's the only survivor.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and she was there. So the AT&T girl dies in this, unfortunately. Spoiler alert.
Well, kind of. But anyways, moving past that, is there anything else, or are we good to...
Oh yeah, and by the way, there's a Beatles reference in it. That's why I'm wearing the shirt.
Oh,
I'm not going to spoil what it is.
I didn't even recognize that, but yes, there is a Beatles reference, and it's pretty obvious once you see it, I will say.
Yeah, it's pretty cute, though.
It is, and I will also say one last... So, to close this review, 0 to 10, where would you rate this?
I think it's a solid 8 out of 10. I think a lot of people are going to like it. It doesn't reach the emotional heights of something like Interstellar.
Or even The Martian to a certain extent.
Yeah, but still, it's a solid movie, and I think it's going to do really well in the box office.
Yeah, 8 out of 10, I would agree. So, I think we're about done here. So that being said, don't go anywhere. We'll be back one more time to wrap up this episode. See you there.
Believe in the Hail Mary.
Damn right.
Well, guys, I think this was an amazing episode of the Spectrum Show. What do you guys think?
Sweet Jesus. So I'm going to take your line just to spite. So that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
I have no words.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we had making it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, a friendly comment, share this episode with your family and friends, subscribe to our YouTube channel for notifications so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And let's try and get to 200 subscribers while we're at it.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitch, and our brand new Letterboxd.
Oh, we have a Letterboxd now?
We do.
Ooh.
I've been doing a lot of stuff on that, actually.
Join our Discord server, become a member on Patreon for just $1 per month to access exclusive content you get anywhere else. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time...
Good night, everybody.
Look at her, Spencer.
It's something, I'll say that much.
She's in a sleep.
What? Look,
She's in a
I
sleeping
know it.
bag.
Like I know it's a niche thing, but that's cute. Come on.
She's in a sleeping bag. She's all tight stuff.
Horses don't exist in this world. It is just horse girls.
Now it's a mega franchise, yeah.
It's getting popular in America.
Goodness gracious, this is killing me now.
Okay, you guys, hold your horses because we're going in.
Well, I'm trying
Hold your horse there!
I'm trying to hold my horse up here.
Okay, so the title of this episode is going to have horse in it, a horse pun in some way, right?
No.
If I ate for breakfast and drive myself to the hospital just to watch the doctors get blasted backwards into the truck.
Jackson, that might be the hardest you've ever laughed on camera.
Look, you love video games about a talking hedgehog. This is only like part. This is like 2 degrees of separation from
When are
that.
we going to get a Sonic Uma? That'd be fun.
Okay, let's just go. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
Good night, everybody. Good enough for us.
I'd say so.
Now get these things off the table.